Good evening, everyone. So let's see for just 2 minutes so that others will join today's session. Just we'll wait for 2 more minutes so that others will join. We'll start at sharp 7:02. As today you're going to learn some more pretty new thing, how to build mobile application for your generated machine learning model. Just we'll wait for 2 minutes and we'll start the session. Just give me a quick confirmation whether voice is audible and screen is clear. Just a quick confirmation. Yes, voice and screen, everything is audible. Yep. Thank you. We'll start in 2 minutes. Yes, we'll start the session. I know the time is 7:02. Don't worry, we'll start the session. Right. So today we are going to see how we can build a mobile application for a machine learning model. Right. So in today's session, what we are going to see is we are going to cover something like three things. Why? Something like how you are going to build a machine learning model by using Python programming in Google Colaboratory. You need not have any software in your system. We'll directly just go to online and we'll open Google Colab in your system and we'll directly write our Python program, which will be pretty much simpler. That's the reason I have chosen the very simple and very widely used Titanic dataset. We'll be using that dataset and we'll be building a classifier for it. We'll be predicting the function and we'll build an API for it with the help of Flask. Not only that, you are going to see your output in the public URL with the help of ngrok. That means your machine learning model from Colab 2 with the help of prediction function, building an API and seeing your output in the public URL with the help of ngrok tunneling server, where we can deploy our demo applications. With the help of that, now we are going to see, once the API is built, we'll take that response, that JSON response, and we'll build an Android application. That means you can see the output. Whatever we are doing here, we can do the same thing in your mobile. You can see your output in the mobile. That is .aia file. That is app inventor file. Right? So I would start with the same thing. So in the first 15 minutes, let's have the basic overview of how machine learning has come into existence. I don't want to much talk about that thing because I'll talk in a simple way, where machine learning, we humans learn from our parents, from our school teachers. We learn some things, right? Our parents are our first teachers, right? So they teach us alphabets and we'll come to know how we can behave good manners and how to eat, because our mother and father are our first parents, right? That is the reason we learn from them. That is expert guidance. Then they'll mimic how to speak, how to walk. We'll store in our brain, and when we are something like when we are asleep or when we are playing something, that is a 1 year kid or 2 year kid, he'll be mimicking those activities. That is knowledge gained from the experts. Then finally, you go for self-learning, because you come and you fall or you do anything, but you will try to get up. So that's how you will be able to learn. So expert guidance, knowledge gained from expert, self-learning. That is a simple thing where human has possessed. In the same way, whenever we talk about machine learning or anything, you just remember, you try to mimic the same thing to a small kid. How a small kid stages will happen, how he can speak, how he can see. If he is able to speak, that is the same criteria with the help of natural language processing. If he is able to see, the same applicable to deep learning and computer vision. So in the same way, we are able to build an artificial brain with the help of deep learning. So that's how the subsets will go on. And if I tell about the history of this thing, so whenever we say machine learning, so this term, as I said, it is not from this 21st century. It is from the past 50 years itself, something like this, 20 plus 50, 70 years old, something like when we got our independence and when we are republic, then only we have this terminology called as machine learning. But people doesn't used to believe, right? See, some might of you might think something like this is out of bound for your subject, right? So, but this is something like how we perform a task, we do it continuously with some experience, and our task performs well. So in the same way, this person who is none other than Arthur Samuel, who is regarded as the father of machine learning, he gave a simple definition. That's what, instead of programming, machines will able to learn. That's what Alan Turing has said in 1950 itself. Can machines think? That question has arose, and then IBM started working towards it, Google, Facebook. Continuously, when we have seen the dot-com bubble, everything has gone changed. So that's how the thing has implemented. Simple, you consider simple things. How you are trying to increase your performance only by doing repetitive tasks. In the same way, performance increases. Performance, experience, task. That is the reason machine learning consists of 6 jars. I always say these 6 jars. You need to make sure these 6 jars are implemented with the help of just 4 steps. We are going to perform those 4 steps today. We are going to build an API so that you can see your output not only in your Google Colaboratory but also in the public URL. That's where we use ngrok. That's a tunneling server where you can see the output in the URL, because Flask and Django will make sure that you have the local host, that is your local URL. That means it will run your system itself. But the output of our machine learning model, which you are going to build, you can see anywhere in the world. That means you can give the same URL to your friend. Your friend can see the output over there, right? So that is how we are going to see. The 4 steps include preparation of the data. That is how you are going to collect the data. Then data pre-processing. In data pre-processing we have, that is how we can extract the data, how we can refine the data, how we can go for data cleansing. These all things comes under doing tasks. In modeling, we try to go for whether it is a machine learning model or whether you are going for, in machine learning we have different types of learning, that is supervised, unsupervised. You relate the same thing to a small kid. I always suggest you to watch the movie Chappie, Chappie, so that you will understand how this word machine learning has been related to human lives. It is not machine dominating you. Humans with the support of machines can do miracles in the coming generation. So that's what we are going to see. So loss, learning, evaluation, the same thing. Loss, we have some errors with the help of statistics because we are going to use the same predictive techniques where you relate the programming to sklearn, where you need not write all the code over there, where you need to make sure that how we are able to retrieve the data. So learning with continuous errors, and finally you evaluate with the help of performance measures, right? So that's how I can say machine learning has been classified in, just to make sure how the data has been, how types of learning has been split: supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement. So generally when we talk about machine learning, it is not that you watch in movies, the Terminator movie, the Arnold Schwarzenegger is seeing he is helping the humans exactly. But the thing is, if we can see such kind of real human beings living with us, not human beings, artificial human beings. That's where reinforcement AI comes into picture, right? So, but before that you need to make sure how you are able to build a model, how you are able to train the data, whether it is something like first a teacher training you, that is task driven, then you learn by yourself, that is unsupervised learning, that is according to data driven, the finally reinforcement learning. That's how you are able to react according to environment, that is something like getting punishment and you are able to retrieve the data. Reward, penalty, same as a kid. I suggest you to go through the blogs and go through the updated content so that you will be able to follow what we are able to learn. So first try to acquire some knowledge, then certificates matter. First try to acquire some knowledge, whether we are getting certificate or not, that is secondary. You keep that as a piece of work for you, what you have learned. But make sure what you are trying to acquire, that is important. That is the reason in machine learning we have classification and regression. We will be using some kind of model within it. These are some different kinds of models. So in this week we are having some more machine learning webinars, polynomial regression in the coming week, and you will be updated. We are trying to make sure how you learn some different types of classifiers. So I always say we are going to do all these steps today. That's how you can get the real world data. That means I'll give a tiny URL, you will be extracting the data from it, that is a saved data. Then we prepare the data set for machine learning model with the help of data cleansing, right? So you try to clean the data, then you try to select the model, that's where you go for some classification. Because the data set I am going to give you today is the famous data set which every beginner, everyone should know, because that involves most data cleansing concepts, that is Titanic data set. It is not the real world data, but researchers have gathered the data and they have given the data set, right? So we will be able to predict the model and we will build an API for that. Then we will see the same output in the mobile, but we are using MIT App Inventor. That's where you are going to see, because for Java you will be using Android Studio to develop Android applications, right? But for machine learning, this something like I can give my model input with the help of API to MIT App Inventor with the help of .aia file. So that also I will be giving you in tiny URL. I will share that URL. Then you can download that URL, download the data from the URL, where this MIT App Inventor is pretty much very in demand, because that is provided by Google. Obviously, when you search MIT App Inventor, that is being handled by MIT University, the world famous university where everyone try to get into it if they want to perform abroad education. That is being handled by MIT, where you get all the data sets. There will try to use the visualization. That means that is similar to blocks. That's how we are going to use the MIT App Inventor. But before that, let's do some simple thing. Let's download the data set. I'll give the same thing, same URL in the chat box. Just download the data set. The URL name is tinyurl.com/ipynb2apk. You can just open that URL. You can just open that URL, tinyurl.com/ipynb2apk. Yes, you can see one is a CSV file for your data set, please download it, and the other one is .aia file. I'll come to it. First, let's build a machine learning model for that. Then I'll explain what is .aia file and what we are going to do that thing. See, whatever we are speaking, whatever we are trying to communicate, this everything exists in general machine learning. See, it is not that is out of bound. Whatever you are using Google, it's an application of machine learning. Whatever you are using mobiles, if you are using Netflix, YouTube, everything that is an application of recommendation engine. That is a machine learning. It is giving you machine learning, right? Did you open the data set? tinyurl.com/ipynb, tinyurl.com/ipynb to you can see the URL. I have already given in the chat box. Yes, the first one is the data set, the other one is the .aia file. It's not the data set. That's the boilerplate where we start building our Android application for our code, right? So then directly open your Google Collaboratory, Colab, type Colab in Google. Yes, I'm repeating the URL again in the chat box. That is tinyurl.com/ipynb, that is IPython notebook file to APK. Which is nothing but Android application file, right? So here we are using .aia file, right? Open Google Collaboratory and click on new notebook. You observe it clearly, you will understand. Just try to follow it instead of telling no and anything. Yes, open a new notebook. Yep. Did everyone open the Google Collaboratory? Just a quick confirmation. You should first sign in to your Google. How can you open any URL? You just sign into your Google, it will take the Google sign in. Yes, is Colab open? Yep, let's good to go then. First, the data set. You can open the data set. So the data set itself is the Titanic data set, which will give you the data of the people traveled in the Titanic ship, which is not real one. The real one we don't have the data, right? Because that is 100 years ago, which is in 1912 probably. So it includes passenger, survived, P class, name, their gender, their age, whether they are having siblings or spouse, whether they are having parents or children, what is the ticket, fare, cabin, embarked. Embarked is nothing but the place of the travel, right? So I'll be using this data set because this involves more data cleansing, where first you will be building your machine learning model, then you can see the output in the web. That is, you will be using ngrok server to help to make any machine learning model see output, right? Then with the help of the ngrok URL, you will deploy the same thing in MIT App Inventor. That means you can see the output in your mobile. That's what we are going to do. It's purely hands-on. Please try to follow every step, right? So first let's go for the, it is very clear. Open Google Collaboratory, click on new notebook, then you can find. So you import the packages first. Generally you need to import pandas, obviously pandas as PD, import numpy as NP. You can just import sklearn, will import all these libraries, right? Import sklearn, you just execute the cell. For executing you can press shift enter, or you can press this run cell button. That's what you are going to see. Yes, is it done? Just import the libraries. Import pandas as PD. Pandas is a data cleansing library where you try to extract the data from CSV file or HTML or web page, because we have already downloaded the data set, and NumPy is a numerical Python to read the data from the CSV file, and sklearn, obviously that is the scientific computing library which takes the support of pandas and numpy to take all the classifiers and all the models. Right? Just upload the data set first. You can see the files option. Click on the files. You can see upload button. Upload the CSV file. It will give you a reminder. Reminder uploading files will get deleted. Click on OK. Shift enter to run. It's not control enter. Once it is done, then we are good to go. We'll go for data cleansing and every operation. Yes? Is the data set uploaded? Everyone? See, if you are trying to build a mobile app, you should have a machine learning model. I clearly said what are the steps. You try to follow. If you are interested, then please stay. See, without building a mobile machine learning model, how can you give to mobile input? I clearly said the steps. It's not making fun of the things, right? People get distracted, so don't try to do it. Yes, is it done? Uploading. Then we'll first read the data set from it. Once it is done, you can press shift enter or you can run the cell. First read the data set. I'll give Titanic data pd.pandas is a library to read the data set, right? So pd.read_csv of what is the data set name? Titanic.csv, right? So if you want to see the data, then you can give Titanic_data dot head. You can see the first 5 rows of the data. You can see the first 5 rows of the data. Dot head of 2, it will give you the first 2 rows. Yes? So if you are having any warnings, there is also a library to ignore the warnings in it. Yes? So what I can do is I can import warnings and I will filter the warnings. Warnings dot filter warnings of ignore, because I want to ignore any warnings. You can do the same thing in Jupyter, because everyone cannot have the Anaconda software and the Jupyter file. So I'm directly giving you this Google Collaborator so that anyone can do. So it will ignore the warnings and it will read the first 2 lines of the data. Yep. Is it clear? See, because our steps are, first you need to build a machine learning model, then you will see the output in the web with the help of NGROC server. With that NGROC URL, you will build a mobile app. See, mobile app is our concentration, but to build a mobile app, you need to have the root data, right? For the root process, we are trying to create a machine learning model. Yep. So the next thing is, let's go for some data cleansing process. Titanic_data dot columns. It will give you what are the columns present. What are the column names? You can see passenger ID, whether they are survived or not, what is their class, what is their name, what is their gender, what is their age. You can see all the column names, right? So my main concern is to first check whether I am having null values or not, because I should make my data clean. So instead of searching in the entire data, I can go for is null dot sum. Is null will give you all true values where your data is not present. Dot sum will give you individual column wherever you are having null values. In age you are having 177 null values. In cabin you are having 687 null values. In embarked you are having 2 null values. See, we have just imported the data set and we are checking for the null values. Yes, is it done? See, my main concentration next step is to clean the data set. That's where my data cleansing process comes into picture. I need to change my cabin values, I need to remove my null values in age, I need to go all those things. Right? So I hope you understood the process. We are going to build a machine learning model and then we are going to build an API for it where you can see your output anywhere in the public URL, and then you are going to build a mobile app for the final step will be building a mobile app. See, if anyone is stuck to take the data set, you can go for tinyurl.com/ipynb2apk. That is the URL. You can download the data set and the boilerplate file for mobile app. CSV file is for the data set. Yep. I hope everyone is following. Please try to follow with the session. Our next target, once we have loaded the data set with the help of pandas, we will check for the null values, whether we are having null values or not. Is null dot sum. Is null in the sense empty values. Dot sum will try to give you, it will calculate all the null values in the each and every column. Yes, it is going very smoothly. Some people are unable to repeat the same thing. Please try to follow. It depends on how you are trying to, because our data should be clean. So it is something like if you are learning half of things, you will fail in the exam, right? In the same way, we need to have a very clean data. That is the reason I am checking null values. Yep. So let's go for data cleansing process. Before that, if you want to see any information, Titanic_data. See, Colab will give you suggestion. Info. Info stands for information. Titanic_data.info will give you information of the entire data set. How many number of columns are present, and you can see non-null in the sense 714 values are present, remaining are absent. See, I let you know everything. Once you build a machine learning model, then we'll go for mobile application. I'll answer each and every question. Don't try to hesitate now itself. We are going in a very smooth way because other people may get confused. Right? .aif file is nothing but your app inventor file where you can use this URL from the ngrok server to give input for your mobile application. That's where we use MIT App Inventor. So once you have seen the information, then we need to go for data cleansing, right? So I can see more number of missing values are present in cabin. So what I need to do over there, I need to drop it, because cabin is not at all useful for me. Cabin in the sense in which cabin they are traveling, so that is not needed for me. So there I go for drop. Drop of, give here column name, and it is a column, right? So you give axis is equal to 1. Axis equal to 1 in the sense that is column, axis equal to 0 in the sense that is row. Right? So and then you give in place is equal to true. True in the sense that is Boolean. Cabin should be removed from the original data set. right? Yes, you can see now if you try to give Titanic, see columns is COLUMNS. Please don't try to make silly mistakes and syntax mistake. Is null dot sum will give you missing values. You can see cabin has been dropped here. That is the reason I gave in place is equal to true, right? Then your next target is going for age and embarked. Embarked is very less values, then don't worry about that. Our next target is filling up this age values because I cannot drop age, right? Because if I drop age, my main concern is to find out which person is survived or which person is not survived. See, we are having time factor, that is the reason I am not writing comments over there. I am trying to explain each and every step. Is cabin dropped from your data set? Everyone? We are using very simple steps. Is null dot sum to check the null values. Yes? Now, I'll answer every question. Why are you in hurry? Please don't hurry with that. We'll answer every question. We are having more 1 hour time. Just don't get hurry with that. Then the next step is to fill the values in age because I cannot drop age. Age is the primary concern to decide whether the person is survived or not. If you have watched the Titanic movie, the people traveling in first class will have higher facilities and lifeboats. In the same way, I need to consider age column. So, I'll not drop age. I'll just fill the values of age. So, for writing comments, you can use hashtag. So, fill the values of age column. So, for filling, you can take Titanic underscore data of, what is your column name? Age dot fill null values. Fill null values of which data? Titanic underscore data of, what is the column? Age. I want to fill the null values with mean of the data. That means average of the data. Instead of filling anything with zeros or any values, I want to fill them with mean of the data. So that is the reason I gave mean. Titanic underscore data of age dot mean. That is mean in the sense you are calculating average. And you should apply the data set, right? So you need to give in place is equal to true. That means it will be applied on the original data set. Right? So that's how we are able to fill the null values with the help of mean. Mean in the sense average. How can I check it? Same, again check null values. Same, Titanic suggestion underscore data dot is null for null values, and to calculate all the values we are going for sum. You can see age is filled. Yes, because we are filling with mean of the data. Because mean is nothing but average. I cannot drop directly the age column because that is very wrong step. Your model will not learn completely. That is the reason I am filling the age with the mean of the data. Then finally, I don't want this two missing values also. So for that, I can directly go for, because your model will not need any kind of null values because that is a multi-dimensional array. Scikit-learn itself take multi-dimensional array. So I am dropping all null values, and to apply on the original data, you can see that is in place is equal to true. That is how to drop all null values, because I cannot use the same step because I may miss the age column. So I don't want to miss this. Then if you can see, same step, Titanic underscore data dot is null dot sum. So you can see every data is filled. Our data is clean, right? So this is our primary task, right? So the next step is, you think your data is clean, but I can have some categories in passenger class, because if you see the data set, the passengers are traveling in first, second, third classes, and their gender is male and female, and the place they are traveling is embark, that is the ship is traveling from Southampton to New York. That is the Titanic ship. So Southampton, Queenstown, Cherbourg, those are the three places people have been traveling. See, to get a people survived, age will be important, right? If you are traveling in a bus, if you want to save every people, whether you leave old people in the bus, it is not that right? So age is an important factor whether they are survived or not, depending upon the data set. You cannot drop the age. If you try to drop the age, your model will behave in a different way. Now, my target is to create categories. Yes. So, for creating categories, I go for simple application of creating dummies. First, I'll create dummies for my gender. So, pd dot, see, within next 5 minutes, we are able to build a machine learning model. Then we can understand how we can replicate the same thing in mobile application. If you are able to understand this very clearly, then you can understand the same steps. Titanic underscore data. I am trying to create dummies, because dummies is nothing but categories, because I am having the gender as male and female. I want it in numeric, because your machine learning model will have only numeric input, because it should have same dimension. It should not have string format. You need to go for converting the string data into numeric itself. That is the reason I am creating dummies. I will answer each and every question. Just please be patient with that. So what is my column name? Sex. And so first I am creating dummies for that. If you want to see the columns, what are the values, you can see the first patient is male. So in female you will have 0, right? You are converting your string into numeric. That is the only advantage of dummies. In sklearn we are having one hot encoder, label encoders. We are having much more functionalities. But I am using simple pandas library to create categories. Yes? Is it done? So the first person is male. In female you will have 0, in male you will have 1. If the second person is female, in female column you will have 1, in the other column you will have 0. So I don't want the first column. I can use drop underscore first. It will give you suggestion, drop underscore first is equal to true. That means you can see only one column. It's your wish whether you want to go with this thing or not. That is the reason I am telling. Strings will be converted into categories. Dummies in the sense duplicates. That's what I am trying to convey. Here we can create dummies for sex, passenger class and embarked. Please try to follow. I cannot show from the beginning again. Everyone will get distracted. Yes? So the next target is to create dummies for passenger class and embarked. What I can do for a very shortcut, I can copy this same thing and I can replace, but I can change this name to passenger class. What is the column name? P class. Because in P class you are having 1 to 3 numeric itself, but I want to see only in zeros and 1, so that your entire data will be of clear format, right? See, the first person is traveling in third class, the second person is traveling in first class. How can you say? Because you are having 0, 0, right? That means in 2 class he is not present, in 3rd class he is not present, so he will be present in first class. You just think logically. This video will already be live in YouTube, so you can watch the offline session also, and you can also give your comments after the video is published, because we will try to answer each and every comment. Don't worry about that thing. If you are having any visible issues, you please try to reload your web page. It is from your end. We are in live streaming, right? Almost nearly 500 plus people are streaming it. Yes, is it done? Did you create dummies for passenger class? A quick confirmation. Then we'll create dummies for embark, that is from which place they are traveling. Because if you follow this step clearly, we'll be able to build a mobile application at the end. Just try to follow very clearly, right? So what I can do, I can copy the same thing and I can paste, but I'll change the names. What are the names here? Embark. Embark is nothing but the place of travel. What is the column name here? Embarked. And that means I can see the data in numerics. So for that purpose, I am creating dummies for that. This is the very important concept in machine learning model. So you can see the first person is traveling from Southampton. The second person is traveling from the other place, Chebok, CSQ. If you don't drop this, you can see 3 values, CQS. If you use drop underscore first, you can try on your own. No worries with that. Nothing wrong over there. You can learn from the errors over there. Drop first is equal to true. You can remove the first column. Yes. So that is how your data is converted it into categories. Then I need to merge this file to original data set so that I can create the original values. I can remove the original values. Within 5 minutes we are able to create a machine learning model, and then we'll go for the mobile application part. That's where the .aif file is useful for you. Now I go for concatenation. pd.concat. What do you mean by concat? Combining of the original data. What is your original data? Titanic underscore data, comma. Make sure you give the column names as it is, sex and PCL, comma, embark. Whatever you have created in the above, please try to give the same thing. As they are columns, that is axis is equal to 1. And if you see this data, Titanic underscore data dot head of 2. If you try to see this, you are trying to combine these values. I mean, you are trying to combine the newly formed values to the original data set. See, don't worry, you will be having the recorded session of this on the YouTube itself. You can watch again and again. You can post us comments over there. We'll for sure answer each and every query. Don't worry about that thing. If you're having any queries after the session, you can give comment. You can see the new data set with more number of columns. You can see all the columns. You can see the male 2, 3 QS have been added to the original data set. Right? Now what I should do? I need not want the original files, right? So I can drop them directly. I can drop those values. That's where I begin my machine learning model. That's it. We are about to finish this. Then we'll go for building a mobile application. Because it is not simple, you can create a mobile app. That means it is not that easy to see the output in your mobile phone. Not with the help of URL, with the help of same mobile application. I need to drop the original values, embark, em, bar, ked, comma, I'll drop passenger class. See, make sure you drop it clearly. Once you drop it, again you need not drop again. You'll get error. Sex embarked. EMBARKED. And I want to drop name also because I don't care for the names. That is of major string. And I want to drop ticket also because I am having very much different values. I don't care for that. Ticket. And the other thing you can drop is passenger ID. Because I don't need that thing. I already have the serial number. So sex, embarked, P class, name, ticket, passenger ID. So these are the 6 columns you are trying to drop. So if you are trying to drop, make sure you give it correctly. Axis is equal to 1 and same. In place is equal to true. In place is equal to true to make sure that is applied on the original data. Now you can see the clean data. See, this is your clean data. Axis is equal to 1. That means that is columns. Rows are axis equal to 0 and columns are axis equal to 1. Now this is your clean data, where you can see everything in numeric. Yes? See, you will be having recorded session in the YouTube itself. Once the session is done, you will be having the recorded session in the YouTube itself. You can watch it again. You can have your comments. We will try to answer it. No outliers here. Where do we have outliers here? Survived is our target. Age, siblings, parents or children. Fare, how much fare they are passing. What is their gender. What is the class of travel. What is the place of travel. That is your machine learning. Yes, is it done? Then we can go for giving the machine learning model input, where I can set my x and y. Then I can go for calling the classifier. I'll use my simple logistic classifier because that is a binary classification, where I have survived or not survived. Survived 0 in the sense they are dead. Survived 1, they are alive. Yep, so you give x is equal to Titanic underscore data dot drop, because in x you give your input, in y you give your target, because x is the independent variable. Then we go for the training and testing part, where you split the data. Training and testing data. So in x you drop the survived column, because survived is your target. So for whenever you give drop, you need to go with the axis equal to 1, that is columns. Survived is the column name, and y is your dependent variable, that is survived. Y is equal to Titanic underscore data dot survived. Then I need to split the data, because splitting is for making sure. See, target is survived. That is a very, very silly question, I can say, because we are traveling in a ship. What is my machine learning model will do? It will try to classify whether a person is alive or dead from the data. That is the target over there, whatever I am trying to tell y. So from sklearn dot model underscore selection, I am trying to split the data. Train underscore test underscore split. Don't worry, every question will be answered, and we are going in a very smooth way. Yes? Now we'll split the data, we'll find the accuracy, we'll predict it, and that prediction we'll see first in the web browser with the help of ngrok. We'll install the ngrok package with the help of Flask, and then we'll go for seeing the output in the web URL, and I'll make the use of that URL with the help of MIT App Inventor. That's where the process. It will take just more 40 minutes to go for that. Then I'll split the data, I'll go for prediction, I'll see accuracy. So here we are splitting data, because splitting is splitting into training part and testing part, because I always say you compare the same thing to human beings, training set and testing set. It should learn from the trained data and it should predict from the test data. So that's where you go for X train, comma, X test, comma, Y train, comma, Y test. You go for train underscore, test underscore, split. That is the method. And what is your input? X. What is your target? Y. You define test size. Test size is nothing but how we are splitting the data. You are having 890 values. In that you are splitting into 30%. And random state is for making sure you define the splitting in a perfect way. Random underscore state is equal to 1. I just initialize it. Then you call your model. Yes? What is your model? I said you are going for binary classification, because binary in the sense survived or not survived. So from sklearn dot linear underscore model, you import logistic regression. So you need not write it, it will give you suggestion. Then you call the model, we fit the data, we go for prediction. That's it. If you follow each and every step, that looks pretty simple. For always fitting the data, we go for training part. X train, Y train. What is your train data? X is your input, because you are training both of your input and output, because this is supervised learning. That is where you have trained the data. So you can see n number of parameters. I need not use any of these parameters, because I am fitting the entire data. You need not worry about the original parameters, right? Once you fitted the data, then you go for predictions. Prediction is nothing but you are going to make sure of your test data. So predictions, it will be pretty much simple, because we follow the same procedure for every kind of data set. That can be for classification or regression. For prediction, always you need to give your X test. See, X test, that is for your predicting the data. Then finally you need to calculate the accuracy, right? Metrics. So from sklearn dot metrics, I import what I need to have. I need to have the accuracy. So how much your model has been learned, because accuracy will give you the evaluation. So in the same way, confusion matrix will give you what are your trained values, true positive values and true negative, false positive and false negative. So in accuracy score, you give your Y test. X test is used, Y train, and now we are using Y test. So for always accuracy score, you need to give your Y test and your predictions. Make sure you write it correctly. See, because in predictions you are having X test, for calculating accuracy you are giving your Y test data and your predictions. If you want to see in percentage of 100, you can see the accuracy. See, my model has got accuracy nearly 83%. That means I can predict any of the value and I can see the output that will match to the original data. Yes, if you want to go for prediction, you can copy the same 26th cell and you can go for adding the values here, because it is a multi-dimension. Yes, So what I want to do, I want to see the first output. So what is the first output? Based on these values, the specific person is dead. Let's see whether my model is showing the same thing or not. You copy the first row values and place them. 22 is their age, and 1, 0 is whether they are having siblings or parents. Make sure you give commas between them. And 7.25 is the fare, and they are traveling in the specific classes. It should give you the output as 0 because the specific person is dead. It should give you the output as array of 0. I need to close the cell. That is the reason you are getting error. So if you want to see the output, you can give predictions. See, it is giving you array of 0. That means the specific person is dead. Because 0 stands for dead, 1 stands for alive. I have taken age, siblings or spouse, parents or children, whether the specific person is having siblings or spouse, whether they are having parents or children, what is their fare, because 7.25 is very least fare. That means the person might be traveling in 3rd class, because in 3rd class people don't have lifeboats. If you watch the Titanic movie, the same thing you can experience. Yes, is it done? Just a quick confirmation, then we can go for building an API for it. Then we can see the same output in specific person, in the sense whatever the row value we have given in the data set. You try to compare the same thing to your data set. Yep. Nice. Then we will be using, we need to build an API, right? So API is nothing but which acts as a bridge. As I always tell, API is something like a waiter in a restaurant. A waiter will take the order from the person and he will report the same thing to the kitchen and he will deliver the order. Request from the waiter, request from the person, response from the kitchen. So API is nothing but it's a application programming interface which acts as a client between user and the server, right? So that's how I'll build an API for that. So for building an API, I need to have a package called as Flask, and along with that I'll run the same thing in public URL. So for that you install this. For installing the package, pip install flask -ngrok. ngrok is a tunneling server where you can see the output in the public URL. That means you will type the same output in the web. It's not, you can see the same output everywhere around the world. Efficiency, see, 83% is pretty good average. You cannot get 100% output in the real data, right? It is a training model. That's where hyper tuning parameters comes into picture. That's where machine learning, deep learning, everything has been splitted, right? So pip install flask -ngrok. See, splitting into training and testing part is nothing but you are trying to make sure your data into trained and test data. I have already done that part. You please try to follow it. I cannot repeat, I cannot go back again. Just install this package, pip install flask -ngrok. You need to give exclamatory mark before that, because we will be seeing our output in the web browser with the help of public URL, not the local URL, because Flask will give you the local URL. I want to show the output in the public URL. So in the same code, we'll write how we can predict the same thing, right? Is it installed? Just a quick confirmation, everyone, because you need to follow very clearly from here, because with the help of the same URL, we'll try to see, you'll try to input the same URL into the MIT App Inventor. It may take just 30 minutes with that. See, fit transform is not needed here because we are fitting the numeric data. If you are using label encoder, you need to go for fit transform. There's pretty much difference. Yep, yeah, good to go. Then I'll go some steps here because I want to take the help of ngrok and I need to run the server and I need to initialize my inputs. So please try to follow here. From Flask, ngrok is the tunneling server. I import run underscore with underscore ngrok. You just follow here Google Colaboratory. Flask hyphen ngrok, it is not ngric. Please don't write the silly mistakes. You can see whatever I gave in the output. I mean in the browser. So first you run with ngrok and then you need to import the JSON data. So from Flask you import the Flask library and JSONify because every data in the browser will be of JSON format, that is JavaScript object notation, because that is in the format of dictionary. Yes. So those are the two libraries which we are importing it from Flask. So from Flask underscore ngrok, you import run underscore with ngrok, then you call the Flask function. Then you create an application to make the routing so that you can run it in the public URL. If you follow very clearly, you will understand. If you are having any comments, you can watch after the session is over. You can watch the recorded video and you can post your comments in the comment section after the webinar if you are having any more queries. But if you try to follow the simple steps, I am creating an application, so I need to run this application. So it starts ngrok when the app is running, right? So for run underscore with underscore ngrok, I am creating application, right? You can give any names, no issue with that. Then I'll give routing, because routing is nothing but if you go for amazon.com, you go for home page, amazon.com/home profile. So for that purpose, you go for routing. That is nothing but transferring from one URL to another, from one page to another page. So here, what is my routing? What are my inputs here? You can see age column, whether they are having siblings or spouse, parents or children, fare, which class they are traveling, what is their gender and what is their place, right? So you need to give all the routing over here in the format of the type of the data. Slash, because slash is for routing. You please try to write it very clearly. For age is my integer type, you close the braces, slash for another data, integer, that is siblings or spouse, name it correctly, close the brace. Then you go for parents or children, integer, parents or children, slash, then float, because fare is float value, always give slash to denote each and every column name. Brace close, again slash. So gender, you can, because that is a numeric, you can directly give it, because m is nothing but I gave there 1 or 0. M we try to give that as string at the end, so that is the reason I am not giving here. And then you define integer for p class. This is nothing but you are trying to provide routing. This entire URL will copy paste in the browser, and place is also a string that will be defining in the coming code now. P class is integer, place right? So this is you are providing routing for the URL, right? Integer, age, siblings or spouse, everything. Now I'll define the same thing with the help of function, because I need to provide routing, right? So this is your key step. Any function name, you give the same values whatever you gave over there in the above. Siblings or spouse, and parents or children, fair, gender, P class, and place. So in this function we define everything, because I need to create routing, right? It is not that simple. I just go with the simple logic where you will be surprised, because I will be using simple condition statements, right? So with that condition statement you will be able to understand, because this plays a very key role for building a mobile application. So I create an empty list. So each and every value should append into that empty list. Age, siblings or spouse, parents or children, fair. Those are numeric values I can directly give. But gender, I am having categories. For passenger class, I am having categories. For place, I am having categories. So for those, I will create my conditions, right? So that is the reason I am using my assignment operator, where I will place all of them within the list. Age, siblings or spouse, because I don't need these categories, because these are all numerics. I can directly place them in the list, but it will append with each and every values, because P is a empty list. I go for my first condition. What is my first condition? Gender. If gender is case fold, that means whatever you are writing case, that is uppercase or lowercase, whatever you can write. If gender is male, because I am using my condition. Double equal to stands for your comparison operator, right? What that value it should store? It should store the value as 1. That is for male. The opposite condition will be female. So you need not write again. If gender dot case fold is equal to female, you can directly write P plus is equal to 0. So first condition is you are checking whether a person is male or female. If you follow clearly, you will understand, no issues with that. So this is the condition for giving gender. What do I write next condition? I write next condition for passenger class. I can provide the same thing in the chat box, don't worry if you are able to follow. If P class is equal to 2, I am comparing. Here I define two values, whether a person is belonging to which category. If he is belonging to second class, the first value should be 1, the other value will be 0. If passenger class is equal to 3, P plus is equal to, because that list should update with the values. Finally, else, if he is belonging to any other class, what is the output? P plus is equal to 0, 0. I am making some combinations. Very simple thing I am doing here. I'll paste every set in the chat box, you can see. Again you write condition for place. If place dot, you can go for case fold, because case fold is for, you can write that thing in capital letter. Sorry, by mistake I have pressed it, don't worry. If place dot case fold is equal to, that means 2 equal to signs, Queenstown, that is one place, Queenstown, you make the condition, that should increment, P plus is equal to 1, 0, and you write elif condition, elif place dot case fold, because case fold is for type conversion, whether you write capital letter or small letter in the output, no worries, that is the reason I am giving case fold. Then P should increment with, what is other combination? 0, 1. Then finally Else, if he belongs to other place, what is the other place? That is Chebag. That is 0, 0. So this is how I frame all the conditions. Then I'll give an input array and I'll predict. That's how we are going to see now. Next 3-4 steps, we'll be able to see how an output is formed. And I give input array is equal to, I'll convert my values formed from the list into an array, because your model will take only the output from the NumPy array. So what is your predict function? Predict is equal to log model dot predict of what is your input? ARR, because I need to see the same output in the browser. If predict is resulting in 1, what does that mean? The person is survived. Because this is in the JSON format, you should write it in dictionary. Result is, just a minute, it's going with type error, don't worry about that. Result is survived. Because if you are giving prediction as if you are getting prediction as 1, what does that result should give you? Survived. Just let me make sure, because I am getting some result is survived, because I want to see the same output on the screen. Just due to type error, it has been showing error. Don't worry about that. The else condition is, if it is 0, what should be your result? Result will be not survived. Because we are trying to give the same JSON format on the web output. Just it has run due to typo error, you will get output for sure. So finally, your function should return in the format of JSONify. And what you should do, your app should run. See, I am providing the same thing in the chat box. If any one of you have missed it, you can directly see. I gave all the conditions and we are trying to convert that thing into JSON format, and we are trying to initialize the as I cannot paste the same code because it is of lengthy. I can paste only some lines of it, because in the next 15 minutes we are able to see the output. So I can paste code partially, because I cannot paste the entire code directly, because it is restricted to only 200 characters. I can post till conditions, and remaining thing you can see in the browser. Yes, if you initialize it, you can see a server running. Yes. Now we'll use the same thing for our MIT App Inventor. In the next 20 minutes, we are able to see how we can build a mobile application. We did not get any wrong input over there, because we gave wrong input. You should understand how we are trying to give the input for a user, because you are working on the data. It should be of logical thinking. Don't believe in exceptions. Don't go for exceptions as it is, right? So once you can see the URL, so this is your public URL. If you try to open that thing in new window, obviously you will get output as not found, because you did not give any input. Now what is your target? You need to give your input / you need to give each and every input, but according to the given format. Suppose if I want to give the same output, I need to change the gender and the place. I should not type the same thing. You need to change the first value is, everything should be slashes. The first one is age, and the next one is gender, age. Let me make it very simple. I'll type one by one. So what is your first data? The first data is your age, right? 22. You can see in the data age, siblings, parents or children, float, fair, gender, P class, place. So you need to input all those values. So go to your input column, make sure accordingly it is present. First one is age slash parents or children slash 1 0, and make sure you give fair in float value. And the next one is gender. Gender in the sense, I think the first person is male, so you can give that thing as capital M, right? So and the first person is traveling in 3rd class, you can directly give 3. And the first person is traveling from Southampton, you can directly give Southampton. Yes, you can directly give the values and you can run. You can see the first person is not survived because the first person is dead. 0 for not survived. Yes, so now I'll make use of this public URL and I'll build my mobile app. Yes, can you spot it here? Whatever you need to enter the values with the help of slashes. You can see this URL anywhere and in your browser. That may be in your home or in your place, you can see anywhere. Just 20 more minutes, we'll be able to finish the same thing. Don't worry about the server error because Google will run the complete file. Now our first task is done. Using the Python Colab, we have generated a machine learning model and we have built an API for that with the help of Flask. With Flask API, we have built an API and we have run the output in the ngrok server. That is the C39CD26. That is a public URL. Anywhere you can see the output. Now with the help of this, see I gave the URL in the chat box. With the help of this, we'll be able to build our application, Android application, because in our Android application we'll be following some steps. I gave the same steps. In the PPT. You can go follow the PPT. Our first 2 steps are done. Yes, I gave the public URL. Anyone from any place can use this URL until and unless my Google cell is running, because this cell will be continuously running. You can see it is running. You can get the response continuously. 200 status OK, 404 the first page not found. Yes. Now we will go for MIT App Inventor. I have already said the .aia file, which is App Inventor file. You can directly open MIT App Inventor, because MIT App Inventor is a pretty good blog based application where you can build simple Android applications, because APK file will not allow you modifications. It can download any content, which will not allow any modifications. But MIT App Inventor, the name App Inventor, which is a graphical user based, and you can drag and drop. That is simply based on the block based programming languages. We'll follow simple steps and we'll get the output. Yes, so you go for MIT App Inventor. You make sure your Gmail is signed in. Go for create applications. See, first you try to follow it. You make sure you logged in through Gmail, because your mail should log in. MIT App Inventor, you just click on the accepting the conditions. Just you can follow the same thing. Go for continue. Welcome to the MIT App Inventor. You can see on the screen. See, you can watch the recorded session once the webinar is done. You can have your comments in the YouTube video after the webinar is done. We'll answer all your comments. First, you try to follow what we are trying to tell. You'll understand, because this will be, you cannot get this content anywhere, because no one will try to tell you how to build a mobile application for a machine learning model. It is not at all simple. We are following very good steps. The video will be in YouTube itself. We need not provide anything. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can see this video directly. Please try to follow. Click on continue and you can see some simple general models. I don't go for that. So I have already given you a file, right? .ai file. You can go for my projects, import there. Import .ai file, that is App Inventor file. What is the App Inventor file I gave? Predict.aia. You just open on that. You click on OK. See, you can see the output on which symbols like a mobile screen. So for having the same thing in your mobile phone, you should download MIT App Inventor in your Play Store. I am giving it in the comment box. You should download the MIT App Inventor from Play Store, because whatever changes we can do here, you can see the same changes in your mobile phone. Download MIT App Inventor. Don't worry, in the next 20 minutes we are able to finish off this mobile application, but if you follow the steps very clearly. Download MIT App Inventor from your Google Play Store, or whether you are using Android or iOS, you can download MIT App Inventor, and you can see here, right? So you will be getting a QR code here. Once your MIT App Inventor is done, you can scan my QR code also. You can scan the QR code and you can see the same app in your mobile phone, where we'll be making the changes dynamically. So within next 20 minutes you are able to see. See, once you have downloaded the MIT App Inventor in your mobile phone, click on connect. You have AI Companion and it should be uploaded to your mobile phone. You can see the same screen in your mobile phone. You can see. Let me make the connection once again. In connect, you can go for AI Companion, scan the QR code. If you are facing any issues, then you can refresh it. No issues with that. AI Companion. So make sure you try to download from your mobile, because we cannot use the same QR code. See, once you scan the QR code, you get the same thing in your mobile. It will be uploading. Yes? How many of you have got the same thing? It will show this secure connection uploading. The steps I have already mentioned in the PPT, where we try to build the blocks and how we give the connection. Don't worry about that thing. Everything you will be getting through mails. I have already given the tiny URL. In the tiny URL, we will be getting the same predict.aia file. Yes, it will take some time. Just don't worry. Within next 20 minutes, I may need more 10 minutes of your time to get the mobile application. It is taking some time to upload. Did anyone get the same thing? Yes? Yes, if you got, then I need not wait for this because it may consume some time. So this is your mobile application where you can see, you try to rename everything. You can go for first screen. And you can see the options to your right side to the components. You can rename the first one. You can go for Titanic prediction. You can see the same changes in your mobile phone. Once you enter the text, you can click on side. See, the name has changed, Titanic prediction. And in the same way, what I will do, I need to have my input fields. So for input fields, what I will do, I need to add some text boxes, right? So for adding text boxes, you can see to your left side, drag 7 inputs because you are having 7 categories: age, gender, siblings or spouse, parents or children, passenger class. You need to drag from your left side 7 inputs. We'll add names for each and everything. Don't worry, first drag 7 inputs. Right? Once input is dragged, you can click on text box and you can rename. You just add some name to it. I give age, and if you can see to your left side, you will be having hint for it. You can change that thing to age and click on empty space. That will be uploaded. You can see the same thing in your mobile phone. Same, change the next fields. What is the next field? Siblings or spouse. Name the variables because those variables you can make sure that whether person can enter or not, siblings or spouse. Next, text box 3, just rename. You can give out any names, parents or children. You are going to experience very pretty good thing if you follow. Parents or children, parents hyphen children, because these are numeric values. You don't worry about that thing. Parents hyphen children, because to make sure whatever the input you are giving, that will be applicable. Just 10 more minutes, you can see the output. What is the next field? I think the next field is fair, I guess. Right? So we have given age, sibling, spouse, parents or children. Next, fair, gender, P class, place. So here I give fair, the variable name, and the text box name. That text box will be applicable once you see in your mobile phone. I cannot display same things, right? So fair, and this one is for gender. I define the variable name. For text box, you can see hint for text box 5. You can give what the value user should enter, male or female, M or F. Now what is the text box 6? From which class they are traveling? P class. So I define hint as class 1/2/3. That's what user will upload. And for text box 7, you can see that as place. You can give any place over here for suggestion. Place. Right? So you can see the changes applicable in your mobile phone. You have mentioned all the fields. Now you need to create the blocks, because your overlay is done and you need to set up the app. It will take just 10 minutes. Spare your 10 minutes for the application. You are going to enjoy that thing. So here this is completely the block based programming language where you need to go for individual blocks. You can see the output in the screen and you can see the same output in your mobile phone. First you need to create the blocks, because this MIT App Inventor where you can go for building simple applications directly which provide GUI based. You can go for blocks. See here we need to create our blocks, right? The first step will be we need to go for setting up the, you need not worry about those empty steps, you can directly go for the first thing. Yes, can you spot here predict API? Can you see this? If you are getting more of the things here in predict API, you need to give the URL. What is the URL? That URL we have got from the ngrok. Please copy the same URL till .io. That should run continuously because you will be fetching the data from the URL. Make sure it is done clearly. So in predict API you are giving your URL. Just 10 more minutes because we will be creating all the blocks and we will make connection. You can see the output in the mobile phone. Yes, so once you have given the blocks, here this is something like the global variable which we do in functioning. So here we'll map the data from the predict API. So the next thing we need to add some procedures, right? The procedures are for giving out the blocks. So here I need to click on so first thing is you have created your block, and the next thing is you are trying to make sure you need to give some procedure for it, because you need to update the data to the URL, right? You can see the same output in your mobile phone. You need to get the, once you have given the predict function, you need to give this predict function. So you can see the predict function here. You can see to your left side screen, you can see the predict function in the below, age, siblings. Can you spot it? Everyone? Yes. Click on the predict function. You can see once you have clicked on the predict function, you can place this, you can drag and drop it here, because we are arranging the blocks. So every block here predict will make sure at the end we are having the function, right? That predict will give you the output. So you can see the predict function, we are giving functionality for that predict function, right? So then we'll add some procedures. You click on procedures, you drag and drop it here, and you need to add the variables, right? You can click on the settings, you add your inputs here. How many inputs you are having? 7 inputs, right? You add all the inputs. You can add 7 inputs, you can just drag and drop. Make sure you drag and drop it correctly, because this is a drag and drop. If you are good with video games, this looks pretty simple. Just try to follow the simple steps. Yes? See, the global API is nothing but whatever the ngrok server URL you are having. I gave in the chat box, you can use the same thing. So here X, X2, X3, X4, X5, X6, X7 are nothing but your inputs. You can see once you have added the inputs, you can see the procedure function mapping it. Directly place it over here, because once you have added this functionality, this thing will be applicable over here. Once you have given the procedures, you can see the same functionality. And how now here you need to give all your inputs with the help of text block. So go to text block. Yeah, you can go for this. So you need to give all the inputs with the help of x, x1, x2, you can go for age. When you click on age, you have all these things, but click on age text because you need to drag and drop all these things. First one is age text and next one is siblings. Just 10 more minutes, you are going to experience your mobile output. You are just building your drag, you are making sure that you are adding all the blocks. You are giving functionality to each and every block. So fair is your output. And the next thing is gender, drag and drop, because this is something like the drag and drop. If you are good at playing video games, this looks pretty much simple. Everything is in the format of text. What is the final one? Place. Just place all the things. Yes, so once you get from procedures, you can go for fetching the data. Yes, is it clear? Just 5 more minutes you can see this, because we are giving functionality for each and every button which we have created, right? That's where we have called the procedure, and the next step is you can go for fetching the data from web fetch, right? So here you need to fetch the data from set web fetch URL2. Click the last one and place it here, where you need to place that thing in the procedure, because we will be adding each and every input over here, right? So here once we have added the input, what are our input categories? We need to add each and every text field with the help of joining. So you place this and you drag and drop here. So if you click on settings, you have all strings. You need to go for 15 strings, because your input categories are 7 input categories, and everyone is separated by slash. 7 plus 7 is 14, and the URL ngrok server is 1. So 15 strings. So drag and drop 15. Make it simple. If you are good at blocks, it looks pretty easy. 1 2 3 4 5 6. I need to add more 9. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I need to add 15 because 7 categories are your input and 7 slashes, because you are trying to navigate each and every slash. 13, 14 and 15. Yes, so that is your 15 inputs here, because you need to map each and every data. Just 5 more minutes, we will be finishing off this thing, because you are fetching the data from the URL and we will try to map each and every individual category with the help of here. When you click on variables, you get the information. You need to place them alternatively, because you will have slashes. First one is global predict API, because that's where you need to go for dragging the output from the URL. You need to go for, you can click on duplicates, drag and drop individual one, X, create duplicate, right click it, you get duplicate, X, X2, because in the middle you will be having slashes, right? So I don't want those slashes. X3, duplicate, X4, create duplicate. You create alternatively, because in the middle you will be having slashes. I don't give slashes over there. That is the reason I gave 15 strings. It will exactly fit according to the data. So in the middle you can go for giving out the slash, where you can go for text. So in text you will be having an empty block where you can go for click on the first one, and in the middle you need to go for slash, right? You duplicate each and everything, You click on duplicate, misplace the blocks again. We are at the end of the thing, because once we click give our input, it will understand, right? We are fetching the data. Yes, so once the data is fetched, we have given all the inputs, and you need to fetch the data from the URL again, where you need to go for web fetch. You can go for your left column and you can call web fetch to get the data and place it in this, right? So you can place the thing, just fill the blocks, here, then that is done. Then see, it performs an HTTP. You can see how does that output you are getting. You need to have no warnings here. Once this is done, you can go to your right side. See, performs an HTTP request. You can see the suggestion over there. It is performing some HTTP request over there. That means you are fetching data from the public URL. Now the final step is you just drag your cursor and you have another block which is automatically created. We are fetching the content and you need to see the same output result. So place the same tag, copy, and you place the same thing in start tag here. Result in quotations. You need to copy the same thing, because the output should be the result, because whenever you input all the values, you get the output as whether it is survived or not survived. Yes? So in the start tag, you need to give result. So that's it. It is done. You can fetch the same output in your mobile phone. You enter the values, you get the result as survived or not survived. Just make sure you give the tag here, whether it is survived or not survived. See, once it is done, you can go to the top page and you can connect it with AI Companion and you can fetch the output. You can scan the QR code, because individual QR code should be taken. If you copy the same QR code, I may not get the output directly. Once it is scanned, you can have the same input functionality what you are having in the, what you have given it in the here inventor, because this is the pretty much simple drag and drop. First we are giving predict function, we are initializing the procedures for individual variables with the predict function and the procedures for fetching the data individually, and we are giving the fetch data. That's it. So to your left side tag, you are giving the result. That's it. So you can scan the QR code. I cannot show here, right, because I cannot go for multiple things. You can scan the QR code and you can enter the values. You can see the result in your mobile phone. Yes? So that's how you can build simple mobile application for any machine learning model with the help of this block based, and you can if you try to use my thing, because I cannot get the same output directly, every individual person should use their own QR code so that you can see the output. You need not try to give my scan. Yes? Is it okay? So you try to give the scan with the help of QR code and you can get the output in your mobile phone. If you try to scan my thing, you will be, I cannot use, only single person can use the same thing. don't scan my thing. You can go for AI Companion and scan your own mobiles from your own mobiles which you have downloaded from the MIT App Inventor. You can get the same output in your mobile phone. Yes, is it clear? So that's how we can build simple mobile application with the help of machine learning model. You just, once you have created the blocks, you can go for connect AI Companion, because I cannot give it here. Many people are scanning my QR code. I cannot show you the output here because it is vice versa, right? So that's about how we can build simple mobile applications with the help of MIT App Inventor. App Inventor .aia file is nothing but App Inventor file. Yes, so that's how you can go for building any mobile application with the help of any machine learning model. You just need to go for, you can minimize it and you can see this predict function. In this you will be giving URL. You go for predict button and call the procedures. You give all your input with the help of text file and fetch the data, give slashes, and you just replace, just 10 steps. I have already mentioned the same thing in the PPT. You can refer the PPT. Yes? Thank you so much for your time. If you can watch the video again, and if you are having any comments, you can give in the comment section after the streaming is done. We'll answer each and every question. You can have the video online itself, right? So the next webinar is on how we can build a regression model for polynomial data. You can go for webinar.code9.com and you can register over here for the next webinar, which is day after tomorrow. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you will get notified. And if you like this, please try to hit the like button and click the bell icon. Yes? So you'll be having a recorded session on the YouTube itself. Once the session is done, you can stream it. If you're having any queries, please do provide in the comment section. We'll answer all of your comments. Yes, you can access this lifetime. You can go to our YouTube channel, you can hit subscribe button and you can watch this video. Yes, so thank you for your time. You'll be getting material and the certificate by tomorrow, because our team is working from home. We'll send everything, every material and certificate by tomorrow to your mails. So register for the next webinar. You'll be learning something more important. So today we have learned how we can build a simple mobile application, and you can see the output in your mobile phone, and you can also make it an APK file. You can directly go to MIT App Inventor and click on start new project. You can create your own project here. Start new project, you get a new screen. You can see when you give some project name. So my project, I give some name. You can see you'll be getting a mobile screen over there. See, you got a mobile screen. You add all your fields here. Just go for text box and drag it here. That's it. In that way you can go for creating your own applications. Yes, so that's how you can go for building mobile app also for a machine learning model, which is very, very important, where most of the people don't know that part. That's where Code9 is good at giving you practical knowledge on. We are having machine learning batches in this week, paid course. If who are attending, we are providing discount on that. You can contact us. You know, all of you know our mail IDs and contact number. You can contact us on this number for any more details, and you can ping us at this mail ID. And you can watch the video on YouTube and you can give your comments so that we'll answer each and every question. Yes, so hope you have enjoyed today's session. So if you liked it, please click the like button so that it helps most people to reach. Right? So see you day after tomorrow. For the next webinar, you can go for webinar.code9.com. You can register for the next webinar, which will be on polynomial regression. Yes? So your like button will help us a lot so that to reach more people. Hope you have enjoyed this session. So see you day after tomorrow with some more exciting content. So stay home, stay safe. You will be getting certificate and the PPT and all the content by tomorrow to all your mails. That is our contact number where you can contact us for your queries. It is 414, right? Yes. So hope you stay home and stay safe and make this quarantine time worthful one. So see you day after tomorrow.